Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Hello again, hockey fans. Are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan? It is Sunday, December the 8th, 2013. This is episode number 71 of Brave the Wild, which is available on thesportstuff.com and on iTunes. I thank each and every one of you always for downloading and listening to this show. We're here to talk hockey once again. Riding solo today. Neil Nate Dog Thiesing is under the weather. May not be on for a show or two, kind of like what happened last time. Just not feeling good right now and busy schedules and such. So, unfortunately, yeah, we'll be riding solo. But we're going to keep the show moving. We got lots of games to review. Early on, I'm going to try to keep it brief. The Colorado home and home, I'm going to try to keep it brief and basically give my opinions on that in a sense. Just extremely frustrating, but thankfully things getting a little better. After that, with the exception of hitting a brick wall in Columbus for what the hell, I don't know. They didn't even have Marian Gaborik because he was injured. But yeah, this show will be constructed as per usual into two parts, of course. The big part, of course, game reviews, and then the Mike Modano Award, which is the Player of the Week, or at least since the last show, in a sense. And, of course, the James Shepard Memorial, who was on the San Jose Sharks tonight, which is the worst player of the past week or so since the last episode, which was, of course, number 70. We will also be jumping into Facebook and such in the first segment, probably right out of the gate. It's probably a good way to do that on this show anyway. Then we take a break, do some previews in the second segment, and then wrap up with a little brief Houston Aero checkup. Just see how some of the prospects are doing in Houston. It's with the injury situations though. Some of them have been coming up. One guy has been up and down nonstop, but the other guy, like I talked about on the last show, I believe it was either the last show or the show before that, when I was talking about how Zucker is kind of built for the second line and such for the Minnesota Wild. But then there's Erik Haula, who's also been doing obviously well in Houston and was a wonderful, heck of a draft pick, considering he was a 7th-round pick and ended up being the leading scorer on the, of course, Minnesota Golden Gophers. Heck, I'm wearing a Gopher jersey right now to keep warm here in this frigid weather. But really a overachiever from day one since coming to the Gophers, and of course being drafted 7th overall, gets to Houston, pretty much best player. I keep calling it Houston, Iowa. I hope I called him the Iowa Wild before. Iowa Wild, not Houston Aeros. I don't know if I'll ever get that right because it's Aeros forever, but great to have. Yeah, I mean, Erik Haula continuing to show everybody he belongs in this league. And it's really cool, or at least, yeah, I mean, he's more flexible to get into the league versus Jason Zucker, who, as I just mentioned, is built for the second line. Erik Haula is a guy you can put on the fourth line, and that's cool, and that means he's going to stick around. And then after that, who knows? Maybe he gets promoted to the third line. Maybe he gets promoted to the second line, but really a third or fourth liner with a lot of talent, and that's good. Third or fourth liners with talent is good news, ladies and gentlemen. That's very good news. That means you have a legitimate hockey team. Speaking of another guy who who scored early in this Colorado home and home, or not early, but was the only scorer in the first of the two, where, son of a biscuit, yeah. A guy by the name of Jean-Sebastian Giguère, returning to XL Energy Center. Yeah, remember him, and of course Patrick Waugh, returning to XL Energy Center for the first time as a coach, and for the first time since he retired as a player, via the Brandon Burnett goal, which is the last goal ever scored on Patrick Waugh. We were the last team he ever faced as an NHL player, but now as a coach, comes to the X with his team playing like crazy, playing phenomenal. It's just frustrating to see Colorado actually being good again right away after a bad year last year. It's like, they're good again. We didn't get any break from it. Nah, not so much. Luckily, they don't have Joe Sakic or Peter Forsberg yet, but they have some talent there. Jean-Sebastian Giguère, also a veteran backup goalie now, is extremely good, and 6-0. Wild had chance after chance after chance in this game, and Jean-Sebastian Giguère slammed the door on them time and time again. This is, by the way, Friday, November the 29th for this ditty. A 3-1 loss for the Minnesota Wild against Colorado at home. Extremely frustrating. They kept it, obviously, the Wild were in it the whole time. Josh Harding was, he stopped only 18 out of 20. That's all he had to stop. The Wild were trying their butts off to get something going against Jean-Sebastian Giguère. He stopped 27 of 28. Just lights out. And there were some legit chances throughout the whole game. Danny Heatley, though, continuing his scoring trend, which is very, very cool. Heck, I even saw him on the second line tonight at times. So he's been kind of bouncing around. I mean, it's the Mike Yeo thing. You don't really even know who's on what line half the time with Mike Yeo. It's like, okay, Nino Niederreiter's on the second line. Right now he's on the third. Okay, he's on the second, yeah. Heatley's on the fourth line now, third line. You know, you get the idea. It's just bounce. Fontaine's another guy that bounces a lot. Cook has been on the fourth line of late. Tory Mitchell goes from third and fourth. Whatever, as long as they score, right? As long as they play well and they score and they're a factor out there, that's what matters. So very cool to see it's Danny Heatley score. Nino Niederreiter with his 10th assist, and Eric Haula. This was the beginning of Eric Haula this very night, and he impressed from the get-go. An outstanding game for Eric Haula. Danny Heatley getting the Wild within one late in the second period, and then just nothing going. Jean-Sebastian Giguère slammed the door, and that was about it. That was all she wrote. And the third goal, of course, was an empty netter when the Wild gave everything they got. But that son of a gun, Jean-Sebastian Giguère, I got to stop saying that name, slammed the door in the Wild nonstop, just like that horrible, haunting Western Conference Finals that the Wild were in 10 years ago against the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. The Wild scored one goal that entire friggin' series. Oh, the frustration. That was something else. And it's just all there is to it there. Just brought back a lot of nightmares. Let's just move on to the next game. I can't take it anymore. Like I mentioned, home and home, back-to-back. Wild head to Denver, Colorado. And, well, this game wasn't any better. In fact, it was actually quite a bit worse. Seemed like the Wild couldn't get anything going whatsoever. Semyon Varlamov, the starting goalie, the main guy for the Colorado Avalanche, because obviously Semyon Varlamov, yes sir, Varlamov. Josh Harding in net again, but the main guy for Colorado in the net, and he looked the part. The Wild couldn't get jack squat past him either. More shots on goal for the Wild this time around. The Wild absolutely peppering the guy. Stopped 35 of 37. It was an ongoing battle. It looked like the Wild were never going to score in this game. It just was so frustrating, and it's like, we're going to get shut out. I'm so pissed off, so upset. You know, if we're going to be taken seriously, we have to beat Colorado. We're like tied with them. We're within a point of them. No, we get swept. But at least the Wild tied it up and gave us some hope. Yet Yep, when Matt Cook put it in with, 3 minutes left, very exciting. Mikko Koivu with 6 seconds left. Yes, sir. 6, the empty net deal, of course, 6 skaters on the ice. It's like, it never works. But this time it did. Once in a while it does. Thank God. Parisi netting a beauty. I mean, the guy has been so clutch. Mikko Koivu has been so clutch throughout this the past like three weeks or so. About a 3 to 4 week span now. Koivu extremely clutch. Pretty much all 6 of his goals. Only 6, but he gets a lot of assists too, of course. Second leading scorer on the team, by the way, behind Zach Parise. Parise, not Parise anymore. Just a very clutch goal with only 6 seconds remaining. It was like, oh my God, could the stars be aligned? Could the Wild sneak one out here in Colorado and we could split? Boy, that would make all of us feel better. And then the shootout was crud. It was crud. Oh, Ryan O'Reilly just got it past Harding after he made a couple of nice stops early on. And then, of course, Jason Tonville just couldn't finish, unfortunately, on his last-ditch effort. And Varlamov had to do a little hot dog. Yeah, he had to smack the puck away, pick it up and smack it away like, ha, ha, ha. He had to do a little hot dog. And that just that just fueled my fire. Was pretty pissed off. Had a lot to say that doesn't need to be on the show. Extreme frustration for myself, without a doubt. And I posted a comment on the Facebook page. By the way, on Facebook, all you have to do is go to Brave the Wild, Minnesota Wild Show on Facebook. And go there and click like. Would be very, very, very much appreciated. Not too many comments. I'll get to it. But basically, I was saying I hate to be negative, but losing 2 games to Colorado is not going to get you anywhere, even though we snuck out a point tonight. Deb Kostka, who's been on here before, and I appreciate it, says ditto, simply says ditto. She obviously not pleased at all either. Mark Carlson, yes sir, loyal Purple Mafia listener and also very loyal listener of this show. Really appreciate him, with a few comments to get to. Just thought I'd say that because I'm tying it in to the Colorado series. But, yeah, well, I'm going to kind of try to bounce around a little bit here. Well, I'll save it for when we get to the Blackhawks game. Because first we're going to play the Philadelphia Flyers. I did pick a win in Minnesota and a loss in Colorado. Neil, Nate Dogg Thesing, ever the optimist, picked victories in both. So I was 1-1. He was 0-2. Poor guy. Oh, Neil. But both of us picked victories against Philadelphia. And it was a beauty. It was a nice little win for the Wild. Monday, December the 2nd. Kind of just a nice, chill little night for the Wild. Very, very fun. Felt really good. Josh Harding, shutout. Josh Harding, who's been amazing the whole way. He is, at this point, as of the Philadelphia game, 11-1-0 at home. A shutout for Mr. Harding. Just wonderful night for the Wild. It was 0-0 for the longest time, though, and it's like, oh boy, now what? This is kind of scaring me. Why do I have a bad feeling this is going to head to a shootout? And pardon me if there's any type of echo here, but what's the last thing we need is head to a shootout again and then blow it somehow. Just, you know how shootouts are, for the Wild at least. You know how shootouts are. It's just things don't work out. Once in a while they do, and you feel great. But then it's like, come on, we got robbed. Frustration. Wild, by the way, will play Philadelphia Monday, December the 23rd. Just thought I'd bring that up. That will be fun. I like playing the Philadelphia Flyers. I really enjoy it. And again, I've said it on pretty much every episode, but I'll say it again. I love the new schedule, how we can play the Eastern Conference. It's just like the NBA now, where we play them twice a year, home and away. I love it. So we get to see all the Eastern Conference teams just like before. And, yeah, it's really fun. Then you don't get sick and tired of seeing Edmonton every stinking night, you know. That got old, didn't it? Didn't it, though? Didn't it? Jason Pominville netting his 14th. And it's like Charlie Coyle. Yeah, now this was obviously early in the third period. Jason Pominville with a beauty, as always. Just wonderful. Nice pass by Mikko Koivu. Charlie Coyle, though, getting set up by Jared Spurgeon, getting the puck on net. Marco Scandella also, Spurgeon zipped it to Scandella, who slap-shotted it. And then, of course, Charlie Coyle with the rebound and the goal. His third on the year. I'm going to say this about Charlie Coyle really quick. Since, there was, other than the Wild, just they played smart, solid, sound hockey in this game, and it was really wonderful. And, of course, Josh Harding was fantastic. Didn't face the firepower that you'd hit in the past against the Philadelphia team and in other games during the course of the season, of course. But he stopped all of them, and that's what's fantastic. But I got to talk about Coyle quick. Now, he has 8 points so far this season. 8 points in 19 games. It's like, obviously there was an injury, so he missed some time there. But I really like him a lot, but I got to tell you, I don't know. I got to see more still, I guess, for me to be convinced that he's this budding superstar that some people believe. I don't know. Maybe people aren't quite saying budding superstar, but people really rave about him. It seems to have quieted down a bit, though, unfortunately, because maybe they're seeing what I'm seeing. There's nothing wrong with him. I mean, he's smart, he's talented, he's good, but the production is, he's looking like a 40, 45, 50 points a season kind of guy. Now, that's not bad at all, but it's not this elite prospect. That's not an elite prospect, though. Pierre-Marc Bouchard did that, and Pierre-Marc Bouchard was last thought of an elite prospect around, 2004, maybe, like back in the day, right? And suddenly he wasn't an elite prospect anymore. He was just a solid player. I really hope Coyle's production can get up a bit. And I know the recovery time from the knee injury is going to slow him down a bit as well, like his timing was off. But you're just not hearing the glowing reviews that you were hearing early on in the season. So I just thought I'd mention that a bit about Charlie Coyle. Since, heck, this is a Minnesota Wild show, we're talking Minnesota Wild. Let's get some opinions out there. You're more than welcome to call into the show, 209-736-7877. Or, of course, the Facebook page, or even the Twitter account, at Brave the Wild. Give that a follow. You can respond to what I had to say if you'd like. Anybody out there is more than welcome to do so. Josh Harding has just been, but yeah, he's kind of the story of the night in terms of the fact he got another shutout. He is just having a ridiculous year. Only faced 21 shots, though the Wild only put up 19 shots. Very, very quiet night. Kind of a grinded out type of game for both teams, Philadelphia and Minnesota. Josh Harding with his third shutout of the year. Or was it his second? I forget. Excuse me. But yeah, he has 3 shutouts on the year now. Very strong season, obviously. Save percentage, almost 94. Goals against average, like 135. Unbelievable. 1.35, of course. Unbelievable season for Josh Harding. And just the Wild's defense as a whole was phenomenal in this game. Like, there's a reason why Josh Harding only had to face 21 shots, because the defense has been fantastic. It seems like the Wild have recovered from some of their struggles this time around, where in the past, when the Wild started to struggle and guys started to get hurt, it seemed like the team would just snowdive. It was unbelievable. And yes, that was Josh Harding's third shutout of the year. That's what I thought. I'm getting screwed up because, yeah, there was a shutout this week, but it is the wrong kind of shutout. Friday, December the 6th. We'll get to that shortly. The feature presentation. Oh, my God. Thursday, December the 5th. 3 days off for the Wild to play the number one team in hockey. And hopefully a budding rivalry between the two. You want a rivalry with Chicago versus just kind of their come in here like the San Antonio Spurs versus the Timberwolves and just say, get out of here. You want the Wild and Chicago to have meaningful hockey games, and this felt like a playoff game in a big way. The Wild came out and kicked some butt early on. 2 goals. It felt so good. Like, oh my God, we're up 2-0. I just can't believe it. Matt Cook, it seems like he just has a nose for goals on occasion. He just kind of shows up once in a while. The fourth line stepping up here, Eric Halla, Torrey Mitchell, and Matt Cook. That's the fourth line right now. Looked good. It was a nice little play. Matt Cook, another kind of facing the goal, basically right up in front of the goal. Like, that seems to be where most of his goals come from. Eric Halla winning the face-off and such. Torrey Mitchell, nice pass to Cook and finishing things. Wonderful play Felt so cool. Only like 5 minutes into the game, Wild up 1-0, and the teams kind of grounded out back and forth for a while. Zach Parise scoring on the power play, just an awesome goal. Danny Heatley on the power play, a factor again, scoring some more points this week. Pominville assisting as well. It's like, oh my, we're up 2-0. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The Wild just might do something here. But less than 3 minutes later, Jeremy Moran with his first goal of the year. 2-1. It's like, okay, well, at least the Wild are still ahead. But immediately, now this was literally with just a few seconds left in the second period, by the way, just so you know. But immediately in that third period, oh boy, this was an ugly one. 43 seconds in, Brandon Said just blew right by Ryan Suter. Ryan Suter sprawling to the ice. He just got humiliated by Brandon Saad. Once in a while, as great as Ryan Suter is, once in a while he has some embarrassing ones. I mean, this Saad just went right past him, and Suter was falling to the ice. He basically got, if it was basketball, you'd say he got crossed up. But basically he got undressed, as we like to say in the hockey world. An unassisted goal. I mean, he basically, Saad just got the puck and just blew right by Suter. Next thing you know, he was one-on-one with Josh Harding, and, well, he went right through there. He blew it right past him. Unfortunately, his 8th goal of the year. Oy. And then Marian Hossa with it. This was a really frustrating one. Just way too easy on the power play. Dumb penalty by the Wild, and it's 3-2 Chicago. Next thing, at that point, a lot of us are just like, I can't believe it. We looked so good, and Chicago was just like, whatever. You guys thought you were something? You thought you were something? You thought you were going to beat us? Really? You thought you were going to beat us? Get out of here. We're the Stanley Cup champions. We're a dynasty. We're the next Detroit Red Wings. You're not going to do nothing with us. We're out of here. Nick Leddy, by the way, with 11 assists already on the year. Oh, that's frustrating to look at. Ugh. Considering what we got back for him, and yeah, what good that's doing the Wild right now. Oh man, the frustration. Oh, the frustration. All that good feeling we had was literally right out the window within about 7 minutes. About 7 minutes of hockey. 3 goals in about 7 frickin' minutes. Jiminy Christmas, I tell you, this really, really got to me. And I think it got to a lot of people. Oh, man, but Jonas Brodin. Jonas Brodin. Oh, man. It looked like somebody tipped the puck in, but no, in the end it was Jonas Brodin. Actually, no, that's the Scandella goal, but we'll get to that in a minute. Oh, man, Jared Spurgeon and Marco Scandella, they've really, really been factors of late. It was something else. The Jonas Brodin, though, man, oh, man. A beautiful shot. A beautiful shot. This is on the power play. I don't know what Fontaine's doing out there on the power play, but he was a factor in this one. It was, just the feeling was unbelievable. Oh, my God, the Wild were able to tie this thing up. But then Marco Scandella, with a mega slap shot, blew it by Crawford. Mega slap shot. His first goal of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time with less than 2 minutes remaining. And it was like, oh my God, are we actually going to beat Chicago tonight? Yes, it was for real. The Wild beat Chicago 4-3 in regulation. No shootout points for the Blackhawks. None of that nonsense. Marco Scandella with a just a massive slap shot. He's got to have the most powerful slap shot on the roster. I got to think. I think he does. Nice to see Scandella and Spurgeon the past week. They've really been nice, and Brodin adding a goal late here like this, like factoring in the offense again. He'd been quiet of late a bit, but he's been overall. Obviously, his defense is phenomenal. His intelligence on the ice is phenomenal. His offense had quieted down a bit, but it's beginning to pick up again. Really cool to see that he's becoming a two-way defenseman. Very cool. Mostly defense, but still, he really is. He does factor. Marco Scandella has stuck around all season, and the patience is starting to pay off with that guy. And I guess he's been factoring more and more with assists, but this slap shot was a thing of beauty. It was a game-winning goal. I got to think it's his first of his career, and a very ending to a very, very thrilling night in Xcel Energy Center. An emotional roller coaster. Marco Scandella earning the number one star of the game in a big way with that beauty. Zach Parise's goal was a beauty as well, though, the way he's just able to put the moves on and just, he's just so gritty. He's not afraid of contact. He's not afraid of attacking the net, and he's able to get it past the goalie. I love those. How can you not love Zach Parise? And what an awesome night for the Wild, though. 4-3 victory against the Chicago Blackhawks. And with all that emotional high, all that awesome feeling, the euphoria, man, we beat the Blackhawks and we looked really good doing it. We actually looked like a legit hockey team. Judd and Dubé and Lou Nanne were every one of them were just glowing, talking about that game and how good the Wild looked and how they responded to the Chicago team. The way it looked like Chicago was just toying with us. Then it's like, no, you're not. You're not toying with us. And the Wild actually outplayed the Blackhawks and earned that victory. Very cool. Also, one other thing to note, though, that Lou Nanne did mention that those of you out there should no, Chuck Fletcher told Lou Nanne that he's not worried about Mikael Granlund's concussion situation, which is extremely, extremely comforting, because when you consider there was an article just the day before where it was official, the Wild, they were shutting down Granlund. We got to shut him down now. No, we're not messing around. He got hit into the boards on one play 1 week, and then just a mere week later, it was the Ottawa game, I believe. He just got hit. It happened to bump his head a little bit, and down went Granlund. It's like, oh my God, this is really scary here. And then it's like, after weeks of practice, after returning to practice and stuff, they're just like, no, we're shutting it down. But then to hear Fletcher say, oh no, I'm not worried about it, things are coming around, it's like that's a really, really good sign. Maybe they're just playing it safe and want him to totally come back as healthy as possible. Let's just not mess around. Very encouraging. Thought I would mention that, of course. I did post that on the Facebook page. No responses, unfortunately. Like more of you out there to respond. Yeah, I mean, there are people on the page, just not as much going on out there. I understand your busy schedules, by the way. Mark Carlson was saying he was catching the Wild versus the Blackhawks. Can you believe we're up 1-0 with time to play in the first? Wild are going to win if they play smart, and yes, they did, Mark. Yes, they did. And now Mark Carlson saying, what is going on in Columbus tonight? This is ridiculous. Yes, sir. Yes, it was. Yes, it was ridiculous. All right. Friday, December the 6th, Columbus 4, Minnesota nothing. Oh my God! Utterly ridiculous in a big way. Really? For real? Yeah. 24. 4-0. It might as well have been 24-0, huh? Just Columbus? Really? Come on. Yeah. What else is there to say? The Wild didn't look good at all. Harding. No, excuse me. This was Backstrom. What am I saying? Harding. Backstrom faced 41 shots in this game. The Wild just were out of sync. They only got 20 shots on goal. Curtis McElhinney with 20 saves in the game. The Wild just completely out of sync throughout the night. Danny Healy was a -3. Niederreiter was a -3. I mean, I can't even tell you. These are unrecognizable names, most of this team right now. There's no Gabrick, of course. Obviously, Rick Nash is long gone. R.J. Umberger, okay, yeah, I've heard, yeah, of course, that's a familiar name, but not exactly like the best player in the league or anything, is he? Nah, he's the guy that, he's had some okay seasons, but really, before he got to Columbus, he was just kind of like a third liner, maybe a second liner. Okay, in Columbus, he's pretty much the top line. But Columbus, yeah, they're only drawing like 11,000 people in Nationwide Arena right now. Nobody really cares about the Columbus Blue Jackets. No offense. But it seems like Todd Richards has the Wild number, man, and this was something else. And yeah, I'm sure he's a little frustrated with us. I'm sure he is. Obviously, Columbus is Marian Gaborik, but where's Marian Gaborik right now? Yeah, of course, injured. Surprise of the decade, right there. That's all he ever is injured. Just like the guy that's on the team the Wild played tonight. That guy, Martin Havlat. Well. There's not really much to say about this game. It was terrible. The Wild just were tired, obviously, from the Chicago game. They were on an emotional high, and they hit a wall in a big way. Big way. 4-0. Wild had no energy whatsoever. Columbus, I guess they just had something to prove, and they proved whatever they had to prove other than they just stomped us, and that's all there is to it. So let's get to tonight's game. A 3-1 victory over the San Jose Sharks. Sunday, December the 8th, of course. Awesome night tonight. Oh, what a fun little win for the Wild. Josh Harding almost had another shutout tonight. Almost until Patrick Marleau netted his 13th goal of the year with less than 2 minutes remaining. It's like, doggone it. And you knew San Jose had to get the empty net out. Luckily, Zach Parise, in this case, was able to finish in that one with his 14th goal of the year. He scored his 13th goal of the year in the second period after a back-and-forth first period between the two teams. San Jose, obviously, they look good. Brent Burns is back. He has moved to forward from defenseman as of late last season, and he's extremely productive in the limited time he's had this year due to injury. What does he have? 15 points in 16 games. Let's make it 15 and 17 now. But very, very productive. Very productive at the forward position. Heck, he only played 30 games last year in his and obviously the strike-year lockout shortened season when they moved him to forward. Now to have a whole off season to prepare as a forward. Boy, he's starting to look pretty good at that position. I remember how he was originally drafted as one, and the Wild moved him to defenseman because that's where he seemed to be more natural originally, which is just weird. A first-round pick moving from forward to defenseman, that's just kind of weird. You usually think that's some guy that's like an undrafted free agent or like a fourth, fifth-round type of guy. But once in a while, stuff like that works out. But then to see him back at forward again, pretty strange. Pretty strange indeed. What's also strange is, though, the Wild only got 12 shots on goal all night.
Holy crap, Batman!
That's pretty weird. Okay, 12 shots on goal the whole night. And yet we managed to win the game. Okay, that's nice to know. Very, very cool. Thank God for that. Opportune, that's for sure. Definitely an opportunity. Zach Parise and Mikko Koivu each scoring tonight. Heatley assisting on Koivu's goal. He was factoring again in the box score. Very cool to see. Scandella and Jared Spurgeon again factoring in the offense along with Danny Heatley. Obviously, the mainstays, Zach Parise, Mikko Koivu, Jason Tomenville, all factors tonight again. Kyle Broziak with a rare assist. We're going to talk about him briefly, very briefly, since we're at the end of the game reviews here. Longer segment, of course, this time than maybe others because of, there's 6 freaking games due to, obviously, I hadn't gotten the show. And I wanted to get it out on Wednesday, but my bad. It's my own fault. I could have recorded it solo because I knew Neil wasn't feeling good, but it's just one of those things. This was a fun little night for the Wild, though, and it's just crazy. The puck was in the Wild zone like the whole night, but hey, opportune. The Wild were they really took advantage of opportunity tonight and finished against Antti Niemi, who's a decent goalie. He's an average goalie. The Wild took advantage of that. He's not bad. I mean, he's 16-4 with a 2.31 goals against average and save percentage over almost 92. 2 shutouts on the year, so he's not bad, but didn't look so hot tonight, obviously. But at the same time, the Wild just, when they had their scoring chances they had, the few and far between, were very good scoring chances, and they were just great plays. Very cool to see. Really, only 2 of them were real goals, of course, because the final one, yeah, we know. The final one was just a empty netter to ice the game, and my God, did that feel good. It was so awesome. Oh, what a night for the Wild. What a nice feeling. Do you realize who we beat tonight, by the way? San Jose is 19-6-5. The Wild are 18-9-5. Moving up a bit here. Another regulation victory for the Wild, and against a legit team. Really feels good. The Wild, as of right now, are in third place in the Central Division. Tied with St. Louis, if you can believe it. It's tied with St. Louis for second with 41 points apiece. Chicago still with 47, who is just dominating everybody. But to think, we beat Chicago and San Jose this past week. How cool is that? How cool is that? I mean, the feeling is good for myself, and I think a lot of Wild fans. So, I mean, yeah, there were some frustrating games. The Colorado situation was ridiculous. Luckily, we were able to squeak out a point, but it's just, when you get all that, to me, I look at it as when you gain all that momentum and force a shootout, okay, let's finish this. Let's win. Let's beat these guys. And the Wild couldn't do it. It's extremely frustrating. Yet after all that, we're actually a point ahead of Colorado, which is really freaking cool. San Jose would be the number 3 seed in the entire Western Conference with 43 points on the year, 2 points behind Anaheim, who would be the number 2 seed in the whole West. They're in the Pacific Division. Of course, Chicago, number 1 overall. The Wild are absolutely in the mix this year. It's like you look at how tough the Western Conference is. It's like in past seasons, the Wild would have been like a number 2 seed or something in the Western Conference. But now, gosh, we're like 6th, tied for 5th right now with St. Louis. We would be on the road. But the good news is we're only 2 points behind San Jose, which should be the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. That's the good news. The Wild are very, very much in contention here. Odds are they'll probably be in the bottom 4, I'm guessing. Which means, obviously, starting the playoffs on the road. Yes, sir. That's the one thing. So, let's jump right into the weekly awards and demerits. Well, there was a guy who was the number 3 star of the past month. And that went to Josh Harding. Number 3 star of the past month. I believe that was November. Yes, of course. Number 3 star of November was Josh Harding. For me, the number 1 star of the week is Josh Harding. Josh Harding is the Mike Modano Award winner. Back-to-back, I believe. Yes, back-to-back award winner. No, it was 2 weeks ago. But that's okay. The last one was Zach Parise. Josh Harding is getting his second Mike Modano Award. Congratulations. Obviously, strong week. A shutout, facing shot after shot tonight. Did awesome all week, though. Hey, was beat a bit against Colorado. Not Colorado. Was really good against Colorado. Kept the Wild right in it to the bitter end against both of those games, and emphasis on bitter end there. Extremely awesome all week. So let's move on to the James Shepard Award. And that's a guy who's not really been productive pretty much all year. And I've been it's like, what the heck? A couple years ago when he moved up a few lines due to injuries, looked really good, but really, he's so quiet. He did get 2 assists this week. So yeah, I'm almost afraid to give it to him. But it's like, I feel like I have to give it to Brodziak because it seems like he's not been a factor of late. He's not been a factor overall. I almost feel bad now because he finally did get a couple assists, but it's like I've been thinking of doing this. It's like I owe it to him for several weeks of non-production. Yeah, what do you think? I'm going to give it to Eric Halla? It's like, hell no. He's got 2 points in 5 games. Hey, 4th liner, and off to a nice start for first 5 games of his whole career. Almost thought to give it to Ryan Suter for that horrible undressing that he faced, and not factored in. He didn't factor in the offense all week. I'm going to give it to. I'm going to have a tie between Kyle Brodziak and Ryan Suter. Partially, I owe it to Brodziak for he's just not been a factor offensively at all, and you got to expect more out of a guy like that. It's been very frustrating. He hasn't even been as good on the faceoff as he has been in the past. So that's another thing to think about. Boy, Eric Halla's off to a slow start in that category as well. So is Charlie Coyle. Those guys are getting the crap beat out of them in their face-offs. Jeez, they're terrible at it. Like losing like 2/3 of their face-offs. Jeez, that's bad. Anyhow, but Ryan Suter, the way he got undressed by freaking Sad, that was frustrating. It was sad. It was sad. It really was terrible, terrible, terrible. So we'll go with that. That's about it. Fun week for the Wild, though, indeed. It was fun. It's too bad that stupid Columbus game was as awful as it was. It's like the Wild just got too excited and just used up all their energy in that Chicago game. But hey, at least we beat them, I suppose. So we will take a quick break. We'll get to the previews and go from there.
Do you shop on Amazon? Did you know that you can support this podcast just by doing your normal shopping on Amazon? It's really easy to do. Just go to thesportstuff.com and click on one of the many Amazon pictures. Do your normal shopping, and Amazon sees that we referred you, and they give us a percentage. We'd like to thank you in advance for supporting thesportstuff.com, and please use our Amazon link. Now enjoy the rest of the show.
We are going round like Saturn's
We are back here on Brave the Wild, episode number 71, which is a reminder for those of you on your mobile devices, your iPhones and iPods, simply download us on iTunes. That's how you can find us on there. On your Android devices, Android phone, Android tablet, whatever it is, the Double Twist application works nicely. Simply download that and look for us in the podcasting section. And on Windows phones, simply search for Brave the Wild in the store. Same for BlackBerry phones out there as well. Very, very cool. So, yeah, just proving to you that you can listen to us on the road, on the go, all that good stuff. You don't have to necessarily be sitting in front of a computer, but you're always welcome to do so. And when you are in front of that computer, if you do shop on Amazon, yeah, click on that big black box and then go as is, just like the ad said. All right. Anyhow, to the preview, to business. Minnesota Wild on Wednesday, December the 11th, head to Anaheim. Okay. The California trip again. Yeah, goody gumdrops. Wednesday, December the 11th, we go to Anaheim. Then immediately in a back-to-back, we play San Jose again. I'm not feeling so good. This is a really, really, really tough schedule coming up here. Oh my God, they're all on the road. They can't be. Oh my God, they're all on the road. The rest of the month, the Minnesota Wild are on the road. I thought I was looking at that wrong, but I'm not. The Wild are gone. No, they're not. They're not gone for the rest of the month. They're gone till very late in the month, though. Home game against the New York Islanders and a home game against the San Jose Sharks. No, excuse me, the St. Louis Blues at the end of the month, the very end of the month. Okay, we sneak in one against Vancouver on December the 17th as well, but several road games ahead of us coming up. Yeah, I'm crazy looking at this. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 road games and 3 home games. Okay, well, that's quite a trip though. 3 games on the road, and we play Vancouver at home. So I was looking at it wrong. I was looking at it wrong. Against Vancouver. We play Vancouver Tuesday, December 17th at home, and then finally end the month with a little 2-game homestand and go from there. Yeah, okay. So we're going to preview the 3 games coming up because I'm going to try to, if I'm going to be doing this solo, and maybe in the future with Neil, Nate, Doug, these things. I always wanted this show to be recorded on Sunday nights. Kind of figure that's a good idea. We'll see how things go, though. But for now, to be on the safe side, I'll preview 3 games. I may throw the Vancouver game in. I don't know. No, I'll just do the first. I'll just preview the 3 here. Going to Anaheim, I don't really have a good feeling about it. Boy, and then you'd have to play San Jose again. This is going to be a really crappy week. Not that the Sharks. I mean, the Wild played nice against the Sharks tonight, but to have to play the Sharks so close together from the previous game, and also the fact that it's just 24 hours later after playing against a really tough Anaheim team in their building to have to play the Sharks. Jeez, man. And then we go to Colorado on Saturday. But I am not liking this schedule at all. At all. Oh, boy. Oh, man. I don't want to pick an 0 for 3 schedule. Oh, boy. I may have to throw the Vancouver game in just to feel good. Yeah, okay. Maybe I will throw it in. And then, hey, if I record between now and then, I'll just keep the prediction the same or change it or whatever the heck. Whatever. I'll probably have a good feeling, though. I have a good idea of what I'm going to feel with the Vancouver game. Anaheim, the Wild just never beat these guys, ever. I'm so sick of it. And they're so damn good, too. I'm sick of that side of things as well. Frickin' Anaheim. Man, I can't pick a win. I really, really want to, but I can't do it. I can't do it. And it just, it aches. It really does. They're so damn good. They put veterans, youth, all the above. They're 27-5. The number 2 team in all of hockey. Number 2 team in the Western Conference. Really, their only not so exciting thing is their goalie, Jonas Hiller. 2.6 goals against average, save percentage, not as good as some other guys, but Jiminy Christmas. I mean, they have so much freaking talent. Ryan Getzlaf, Corey Perry, Dustin Penner, Nick Bonino, Cam Fowler. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Oh, yeah, and a guy by the name of Timu Solani, who looks like he's finally starting to hit the wall here because he's so freaking old. Saku Koivu as well. Just ancient. They're ancient. They're hurt a lot. Saku Koivu gets hurt a lot. But to the point, the team is just freaking good. They're so much better than the Wild right now. Actually, they're not so much better, but the Wild never beat them. And the talent is just crazy. I mean, Ryan Getzlaf has 36 points in 29 games. Corey Perry, 33 points in 32 games. Dustin Penner, the third best player, is scoring like Mikko Koivu right now. Or, yeah, it's like they're Mikko Koivu, but he actually scores better than Koivu, goals-wise. I can't pick a win. I've got Anaheim in this one. I'm going to go with a 3-2 victory for the Anaheim Ducks. Unfortunately, I can't do it. We head to San Jose the next night. Oh, boy. December the 12th. I don't have a good feeling just because of the energy going into this one. I'm going to pick another loss, guys. I'm not trying to be negative. Don't worry. I'm coming back to you. Don't worry. It's coming back, guys. It's coming back. It'll get better because I'm going to preview 4 games. Wild head to San Jose. I think they're going to be tired, and I think San Jose is going to I just think San Jose is going to rebound from tonight's game. I mean, they only faced 12 shots. I mean, only 12 shots. Though, I mean, yeah, I'm sure the Wild will put up more shots. I would hope the Wild will put up more than 12 shots in San Jose, but I think the Sharks' offense is going to come around a little bit in San Jose. That's a really, really tough place to win. Just thought I'd run that by you. I mean, the X is a tough place to win most of the time, but I'm telling you, that place, the Shark Tank, it's not a good environment. The Wild never seem to play all so great there. It's been extremely frustrating for a long time. So I have another loss, guys. I'm really sorry to do this. It sucks too, considering how good the Wild have been playing. But hey, they have some bad games as well. I just think it's going to start off poorly and then improve as we move on. Colorado. The Wild head to Colorado, and I think the Minnesota Wild are able to pull out this one. I think the Wild get revenge against the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday the 14th. I think the Wild finally pull off one here. Hopefully Jean-Sebastien Giguère is in a net, but then again, that hot dog goalie with the way the Wild kind of took him apart a little bit for a minute there, late last Saturday. Hopefully the Wild could do it again this week. Oh, I hope so, man. Colorado 3 times in like a week. Holy schmuck. in about 8 days. Wow, that's crazy. Yes, I do think the Wild beat Colorado in a solid back and forth type of game, but the Wild get it done. Be it a shootout, be it whatever it is. I think the Wild pull this one off. I'm going to go with a 3-2 victory. I can't pick the Wild to score like a ton of goals. I might even go 2-1 actually in this one. I'm going to go 2-1. I think Josh Harding or Nicholas Backstrom, whoever it is, because I have faith in either one of them against Colorado right now. Even though Backstrom stunk against Columbus, I think Backstrom would have a rebound game if he's in the net, because don't be surprised if he is, because you can't just go out there and kill Harding with his medical condition, MS, of course. So I think Minnesota will get a 2-1 victory, a low-scoring victory against Colorado. They'll save face for the week. It'll feel better in general. They'll be more desperate after losing both of those games in California. I mean, I call it the California curse. The Wild almost never win in California, guys. So I almost never can pick a victory. And when the Wild come home Tuesday after a nice break against Vancouver, I think the Wild win that one. How about that? Tuesday, December the 17th. So, yes, I will do the prediction now in case I'm not able to record until like Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Just it depends. Vancouver's down a little bit this year. They're still good, 16-10-5, but they're not as dangerous as they've been in the past. I think the Wild can win in this one. Vancouver's definitely not a bad team or anything, but I don't really fear them at this point, and I think the Wild will I think they'll have a good feeling coming into this one after a nice break. Hopefully we can get to Roberto Luongo. We have gotten to him in the past, up and down. The Sedin sisters, or brothers, people like to call them the sisters, but outside of them, they're really not that great anymore. They're really not that good of a team. It's just there's a huge drop up after that. Can't believe Roberto Luongo is still in Vancouver, by the way. I thought he was traded like 3 years ago, but no, they never did trade him. It was like he was going to get traded, and they didn't trade him. They're going to trade him, not going to trade him. Going to trade him, not going to trade him. He's definitely gone this time. Nope. So I have no idea what to think about all that. So I'll have a 2-2 week in the 4 games, depending on when it's recorded, whatever it is. So that's the good part. I think the Wild do rebound after a really tough California trip. I just don't feel good about it, guys. Hopefully they prove me wrong and others, but you got to go with history and current and past. Yes, we beat the Sharks at home, but we never win there. And Wild never play good against Anaheim, home or away. Competitively, maybe, but who wins the game every bleeping time? Of course. So that's the case. We will wrap up the previews there. Very, very brief checkup on the Iowa Wild. I don't know if I'm ever going to stop calling them the Houston Aeros, but the Iowa Wild. Jason Zucker still playing fairly well there. He's behind Brian Connolly for the team lead in scoring. And Jonathan Blum. Those are the career minor leaguers right there. Brett Ballmer has picked up his scoring a little bit of late, but still, when you look at the grand scheme of things, only 10 points in 20 games. Not that great. Zach Phillips still really quiet of late in the scoring, and Tyler Kuma, the usual 3 points in 19 games. That's about all you're going to get from him. He's just a Nick Schultz at the minor league level. That's not good. So I don't know if we'll ever see Tyler Kuma in a Wild jersey, and I think that's a huge shame. He's been in the system a long time. The Wild, Doug Risebrough traded up to get him. It just shows how bad of a general manager he was. Pretty much, I rip Doug Risebrough every time I mention Tyler Kuma, but Kuma is not the problem. It was Risebrough, of course. Overall, though, really the Iowa Wild aren't playing well at all. To be honest with you, they're not scoring goals and they're getting scored against. Mr. Darcy Comfort has been pretty much terrible, and that's really a shame. Thank God we have the other one, Gustafsson. So that's the good part. Johan Gustafsson, he's playing a little bit better. But, of course, Comfort seems to be the main guy as of right now. I got to think that's going to change sooner or later. Even though Gustafsson isn't even doing that great either. So, man alive. I mean, he's doing all right. Where Comfort is just, I don't even know where to go right now. It's frustrating. It really is. What do you do, right? What do you do? He's better at the better at the AHL level than he is at the NHL level. That's for sure. Anytime you put Comfort in the in an NHL game, it's like 3 goals in like 5 minutes, and it's like, okay, pull him out, please, pull him out. He might start out strong, and then get slaughtered after that. Nothing really exciting going on with the prospects in the system right now, and it's not stating that there aren't any prospects in the system. I remember somebody was being stupid about that, but yeah, I know there's plenty of prospects in the system, but nobody's really tearing it up right now, at least in the Iowa level. Nobody's really tearing it up. Zucker's playing better than everybody else, you could say. him and Brian Connolly, who will rarely see the Wild because he's pretty much a career minor leaguer, along with Jonathan Blum, who plays with the Wild once in a blue moon. I think he's played like 2 games on the Wild so far. Jake Dowell's a similar guy, but he hasn't done anything even in the AHL this year. Like, boy, oh boy, he's a non-factor. Zucker, though, obviously he has a lot of flaws at the NHL level, struggling to get to the NHL, but Erik Haula, not a big-time scorer in the AHL, but, he's doing about as good as Brett Bulmer was, but, more on the assist side than the goal side, we'll say. But more NHL ready than the rest. And I think Erik Haula is going to stick around in the NHL for a long time, guys. I think he is. And I hope he does. So a lot of people feeling good about that. This is really Erik Haula's development, and the fact that he's been playing center at the NHL level. He's been centering. He'll center that fourth line at times. He'll be a wing on the fourth line, depending on, Zenon Konopka or such, depending on who's scratched, who isn't, all that good stuff. Doesn't look good for Zach Phillips' future right now. I don't know if I don't know, man. That doesn't look like, right now, it doesn't look like the best draft pick. It really doesn't. Hopefully things change. I remember Koivu was kind of a slow starter as well, but that was overseas, so stats are kind of deceiving over there versus here. Look at Jonas Brodin. Holy moly. He basically got like 1 point in like 100 games, and then he comes to the NHL, and he's just, he's like a 20 to 25 point guy. Not bad. All right, so that should pretty much wrap things up for this episode of Brave the Wild. Really appreciate you out there. Please do tell a friend about this show. If you like hockey, tell your friends about the show. Please give us a rating on iTunes. If you like the show, please give us a nice positive rating on iTunes. Would really appreciate that. And don't be afraid to write a review. Tell us what you like about the show. Heck, even say what you might like to see improved as well. But yeah, if you like the show, please do help us out. We could really use it on iTunes. Would be really appreciated. It only makes the show look better and stronger if you would do such. All right, so thanks again, everybody. Hoping for a positive week in California. Cross your fingers. I'm sure the Wild are doing the same right now. But luckily, things should get better as the week develops. So, all right, everybody, thanks again for listening. We will be back Sunday at the earliest, Wednesday at the latest, we'll say. Take care, everyone, and hey, pray for Neil. He could use your prayers. He's kind of in and out with his health at times, unfortunately. So just letting you know again, please keep him in your prayers. Really would like to see him back on the show, but until then, I will be riding solo. All right, take care, everybody, and stay warm.